Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be covering what I consider to be the easiest budget for beginners. It's something I've been using with my wife for about a year now, and it's pretty flexible for how easy it is. And I think if you're struggling to kind of get into the habit of budgeting consistently, a tool like this is really going to help you. So let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. Now it's called the 50-30-20 budget. And now you can find this calculator on nerdwallet.com. And so the 50-30-20 framework is basically how it breaks down your necessities or needs, your wants, or your savings and debt. So I'm going to put in a simple number here. Let's do 1,000 so you can see how it breaks down. So basically that 50 number is that 50% of your income goes towards your needs. Now I'm going to show you a template in a second that will help you kind of detail out what that actually includes, because that's something I've had to kind of work with to understand what is a need versus what's a debt versus a want and so on. So basically 50% towards necessities. These are the things you need to live. 30% towards wants. So again, these are more open to interpretation depending on your lifestyle and where you live. And then that final 20 number is dedicated to your savings rate and your debt repayment. Of course, the internet is full of tons of conflicting advice, as all of you know. And so the numbers here are a framework. They're not a gold standard by which you should forever do your budget by. And if you want to have a higher savings rate, or if you want to live in maybe a nicer place and put some of your want money towards your need money, that's all okay. But this is a really good framework to start with, to begin the budgeting habit and to understand where your money is going and how you might be able to categorize it so that you can make sure you're building towards the kind of life you want to live. Let's go ahead and take a look at the budget template. Now I'm going to make this free download. Just check out the link in the description below. I'd like to think it's pretty user friendly as far as spreadsheets go, and it's been really helpful to me and my wife just as we're trying to figure out again what goes where in these categories. So starting on the left-hand side, you're going to see the total monthly income number. Now this number comes from these numbers over here on the right side. So you're going to see I input 4 different slots. You can add or subtract however you need. And so basically this is built with the idea that 2 people would each have an income, and maybe each one would also have a side income. Now again, you can zero any of these out if they don't fit your situation, or change the numbers accordingly. You'll be able to download this sheet and customize it however you need. Now, what I found to be most helpful are the columns in the middle. So here I categorized the different spaces, needs, wants, and the savings or debt. So again, the 50, 30, and 20. And you don't have to worry about doing that math. All of that math is done down here. So it takes the total monthly income, and then that budget total is that 50. So this, let's make it a nice round number again, so that way the numbers make easier sense. All right, so you can see the total monthly income is 4,000, so half of that would be 2,000, and that's the budget total, or 50%. So that's what we want to keep our needs at or below so that we stay in budget. In the next column, you're going to see that this is the 30%, so 30% of 4,000 is 1,200, or whatever your number will be. And again, we want to keep all of our wants under this number. And the same thing goes for the savings and debt column. So again, this is the 20% number. 20% of 4,000 is 800. And then again, we want to keep all of these under there if possible. I put the categories in here that we use most often, such as rent, utilities, phone, car, and so on, and all of these are what we need to live on a month-to-month basis. I'm going to skip over the wants and go to the savings. So over here, these are pretty self-explanatory too. If you have student loans, if you have credit card debt, if you have other debts that are coming out on a regular basis, then those would go here, and the remainder would be what you're saving. So if you are intentionally saving towards retirement, if you have other savings that are taken out automatically, put all of these in here so you can see what that actual total is. And finally, everything else that comes out of your bank should go in this middle column here. Now again, this can change month to month depending on the time of year. If you have a big gift budget in the winter months and a big travel budget in the summer months, it's up to you to determine what goes in the wants versus any of the other categories. But trust me, this is a very illuminating exercise to see, wow, I didn't know I was actually spending X amount on this category. Or you might be pleasantly surprised and find out that you deserve to spoil yourself a lot more than you already are. So what happens once you put in all of your numbers is that they are totaled at the bottom here. So that's what that actual total row does. It adds up all of these in every category, and then will tell you whether you're under or above what you should be spending in that category. And again, it's all real simple. These boxes are color coordinated, so if it's green, that means you're good to go. You're still below what you should be spending each month. And if it turns red, let's change one of these so you can see. That means you're spending more than you should in that category, and it'll reflect in the total. So I added one more box at the very bottom, the total leftover money you have every single month. Now, ideally, you would put this towards any savings or debt goals that you have. I found that having this nice, clean, clear number makes it easier for me to decide, where we should be putting that extra money that we might not have already allocated somewhere else. Now, if you're already familiar with different types of budgets, you might already know about the zero-based budgeting techniques. I prefer to have a little wiggle room just because life requires you to have a little wiggle room. And so tools like these I found to be much more helpful and just much more peaceful to look at and realize, okay, we are still going to hit all of our goals if we're keeping these numbers intact. Now again, over time, I expect our 50, 30, 20 breakdowns will change over time, but for now, they are a simple, easy way of keeping track of our money every single month, and I encourage you to give this tool a try. Again, it'll be available for download below, and yeah, thank you again for taking a few minutes to watch this video. I hope it helps, and I'll see you next time.